question is, do political parties need to rebrand themselves to be able to win an election? And that seems to be the case with the BC Liberal Party, as it's going to have its convention this weekend. And the new leader who's been put in place earlier this year, well, Kevin Falcon, one of his promises was to go for a vote on changing the name of the Liberal Party and hoping that maybe it could change their fate in terms of elections, as it saw it become decimated in the 2020 election that was held provincially, where they lost 13 seats in Liberal safe ridings, and this was one of his promises as when he became the leader of the BC Liberal Party. Now this Saturday, the members of the party, they will get a chance to vote. The convention starts on Friday to Sunday, and this is something that he had promised. Now there's 800 BC Liberal delegates who will attend and who will vote on this, and later in the year, the rest of the memberships will get a chance to vote. There are 45,000 BC Liberal Party members, and later in the year, they'll get a chance to vote on whether they'll go ahead with a new name or stick with the current name. Now you'd be wondering, why would they want to change their party name? The Liberal Party is very well known, and if it's a very well-known brand, then what's the need to change it? Well, they think that as the BC Liberals are a party that actually cater to voters on right of center and center. Essentially, they take a lot of conservative votes in that province. The Conservative Party does exist, but it's the Liberal Party that most conservative voters vote for. So they want to have a rebrand to essentially show that it's a party that's big tent for conservative voters, right of center and center, and a little left if possible, but mainly center. Voters where essentially Liberals and Conservatives can vote for. And they also want to distance themselves from the federal leaders, they say, the federal Liberal Party under Justin Trudeau. And they say that essentially the Conservative supporters in the province of British Columbia who do not like Justin Trudeau will have a harder time voting for a provincial Liberal Party. Take a look. This is when he won the leadership of the Liberal Party, Kevin Falcon, his speech, and this was one of the key things he ran his leadership election on.
Falcon.
Thank you. What a night. Woo. Thank you. But none of you have ever forgotten the importance of our party and our purpose. The BC needs and deserves a government that believes that a private sector-driven economy is the best way to generate revenues so we can fund first-class public services. And that a combination of compassion and competence is the approach we need for some of the greatest challenges of our time. But most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Jessica, who has been understanding beyond belief. And our two girls, Josephine and Rose, because they have been so patient when Daddy has to go for another trip or take another phone call or go to yet another meeting. They've been there the whole time. I thank you, girls. I love you very much. Thank you.
That's Kevin Falcon. He is the leader of the Liberal Party in British Columbia. Essentially, the BC Liberals in the past had thought about changing their party name, the Liberal Party of British Columbia, back in 1996 and 2013, but there wasn't enough support by the party members to do so. And now Mary Pollock, who's a BC Liberal MLA in the area of the riding of Langley from 2005 to 2017, she says that there's greater interest within the Liberal Party now to change their name and rebrand themselves and to be able to differentiate themselves from the federal Liberals and Justin Trudeau for the voters that are right of center who potentially do not like Trudeau and would associate the two levels of government in the same brand. And but Jas Johal, who was a former BC Liberal MLA, he has since left the party when he lost his seat in Richmond, Queensborough in 2020 election. He says that the BC Liberals should be mindful about changing their name because it's a brand that's very well known. It works very well in urban areas, and when it comes to minority communities who associate with the brand and are very fond of the brand in terms of its trust and electability. And those are some of his concerns. But we'll know at the end of this weekend what it means for the Liberal BC brand, if it's going to change. Essentially, Falcon came into power and he also won his seat at the 2020 election with 59% of the vote. It's a Liberal stronghold, but this is the same election where they lost a lot of seats, more than they had expected to, 13 seats that were in very previously Liberal strong-held ridings, showing that perhaps that their momentum has changed and their message is outdated and their brand is outdated according to the leader. So more to follow on that once we have more news on it after this weekend.